It's been a while, and we're back with some worrying news and some news that I think I just needed to speak through and have a little bit of therapy on, and that's that Real Madrid are interested in signing Cristian Romero from Tottenham this summer and have reportedly inquired about the conditions of a deal. It's unclear whether that's to Romero himself or if it's to Tottenham, but either way, it does look as though this is one that the Real Madrid are interested in. Is it surprising? Absolutely not. Is it likely? I'd also say at this point in time, no. But my fear is that if Real Madrid do come at this seriously, that I think Cristian Romero will want the move and he'll try and make it happen. But there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things we need to establish before we can really identify just how likely this move is. And I think the first of those points that we need to look at is the condition of Real Madrid and their squad at the moment, and how much do they really need a centre back? So the centre backs in there at the moment that they have in their squad are Eder Militao, on his way back from a very bad injury. There's Antonio Rudiger, David Alaba, and Nacho Fernandez. Now, Fernandez's future up in the air at the moment. It's unclear if he'll still be at Real Madrid next season. His current contract expires at the end of this month, and he's offers from the MLS and Saudi Arabia. So, depending on where Nacho Fernandez goes, that leaves Real Madrid with 3 or 4 established first-team centre-backs, and 3 of those are over the age of 30. So I think it's fair to say Real Madrid need to sign a centre-back, and they need to sign one this summer. They've been linked with a couple of other players. Lenny Yoro is one of those. He's an 18-year-old centre-back from France playing with Lille at the moment. He's attracted attention, I would say, from every big club in Europe. A number of Premier League clubs have also been mentioned, but Real Madrid are a team who do seem to be serious about their interest in the player. Now, whether or not that one happens, is he someone they can throw in that first team straight away? Very, very unclear. He's a brilliant player for his age at just 18 years of age, but if he could go straight into a Real Madrid team like that, I would personally think not. But that will be a big financial outlay if they were to make that. I think it's about €50 million that Lille want for the player, who does look like he's going to be allowed to leave. Real Madrid are also interested in Alexander Penetra from AZ Alkmaar. He's a 22-year-old Portuguese centre-back. And now being added to that list is of course, Cristian Romero. So Madrid need a centre-back, but how high up that list Romero will be is a very different question, and one that I don't think we're going to get answered until we know if there's going to be a bid or not, or until we know just how keen Romero could be on this move. And if Madrid do come in with an offer, if they do come in with a serious intent to sign Romero, I think he'll be on his way, or I think he'll want to be on his way. We'll speak about Tottenham's stance in this and the cards that Tottenham have in their hands in a moment. But I was just doing a space on Twitter, and I was explaining this in the same way that I've spoken a lot on Last Word in Spurs, especially about the squad that we put together at the moment, and how there's, for a lot of those players in there, there's no, I use the word nostalgia, keeping them at Tottenham. And if you look at 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, even 3, 4 years ago with Harry Kane, it took a lot to convince Kane that a life away from Tottenham was the best thing for him. He went through a lot. He went through Jose, he went through Nuno, and he went through Antonio Conte before he actually made that move happen. I know in 2021 when Nuno came in, he wanted to go then, but he didn't push for it, I would say, as much as he did when he got that move to Bayern. And the reason that he wanted to stay for as long as he did was the fact he came through the Tottenham Academy. He was English. He had that connection to the Premier League. He wanted Shearer's record. It's what he'd always dreamt of. Players like Heung-min Son has that extra special connection to the club because he's been here coming up to a decade now. He, I think, owes a lot to Tottenham as much as we owe to him, and even other players in there like Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen, Hugo Lloris. There were players who just had that extra special connection to Tottenham, and it was a really special squad that we put together. That doesn't quite exist in the team that we have now just yet. And Cristian Romero is the example I always use, and quite ironically, Romero and a potential move to Real Madrid is the example that I always use, and that it's a huge club. It's an extremely successful club. It's a club that can promise you success in the form of various trophies every season, especially with the domination they could be looking at in the next 4 or 5 years with their signings and the financial struggles of Barcelona. So I don't think there would really be any reason for for Cristian Romero to want to stay at Tottenham if Real Madrid offered him a contract. I think it's a move that he'd want, and it's not something I could hold against him, because Real Madrid next season are going to be they're in contention to be one of the greatest teams that football has ever seen, with the signings of Kylian Mbappe and Endrick, who I know is only 17, but is an extremely, extremely talented player. And you're adding that into a squad that has just won their 15th Champions League, that has won the La Liga title, has a manager like of Ancelotti's caliber, and has, aside from the incredibly experienced, established players that have won 3, 4, 5, 6 Champions Leagues on the journey with Real Madrid, they also have an incredible core of young players that are coming through in that team as well. So the domination that Real Madrid could be looking at isn't just a year or two thing. It could be the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And Cristian Romero, with the quality that he has, could be a key part of that. In 4 or 5 years' time, he could be the experienced top centre-back in a team with Arda Güler, with Nico Paz, with Jude Bellingham, Eduardo Camavinga, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Tchouameni, Valverde, still only 25. It's an immense squad that Real Madrid are putting together there. And I'd just be surprised if Cristian Romero didn't want to be part of that. But imagine Real Madrid come in. Imagine they make a bid. Tottenham hold the cards at the moment, in my opinion, because he has 3 years left in his contract. He signed on an initial loan in 2021, and then that was made permanent in 2022 on a 5-year contract. So his contract is valid until 2027. That's 3 years left in that deal, and that's advantage Tottenham, in my opinion. If it was 2 years, you'd have the conversation of, we could try and convince him for another year, but then all of a sudden there's 1 year left in his contract and we have to accept a cut price fee. I don't think that jeopardy is there when he has 3 years left in his contract, because next year, 2 years left, we can still command a very, very high fee for him if he still wants to leave, and if we think that is what makes the most business sense to let him go. So I think Tottenham do have the control on that. The one uncertainty I think that might exist within the Tottenham faction of this conversation is Ange Postecoglou. And the big statement he made when he came into Spurs was, I don't want to say accepting Harry Kane was leaving, because maybe that sounds like there was an element of defeat in there, but he allowed Harry Kane to leave on the terms that Kane wanted. He came in, and the star player who had been the star player at Tottenham for 8-9 years prior to his arrival wanted to go, and Postecoglou didn't, it seems from the outside, make any efforts to change Kane's mind. And had he made those efforts, they most likely would have been in vain, and Kane would have gone anyway, but maybe with some hard feelings between himself and the new manager. But from what we hear, everything was on good terms, and Postecoglou accepted, okay, this is a player who doesn't want to be part of this project, let him go. Would Postecoglou maybe have the same approach if Romero knocked on his door after the Copa America and said that he wanted to make that move to Real Madrid? That is the unknown quantity that exists there at the moment, in my opinion. And it's something that does scare me to an extent, because our security is that we can keep him if we want to. But what if Postecoglou doesn't want to? If Romero does want out that much? So that is one source of my anxiety on this move right now. But like I said, a lot remains to be seen on this one, and I think it's one that may start moving quickly. When big news like this comes out, you expect Fabrizio Romano to have his say in it. You'd expect Alistair Gold to come out, whether he's going to say, maybe from a Tottenham perspective, there's no chance of a sale, or maybe that we will be open to offers if the right offer came in. And I think that's one thing we have to consider as well. As much as Daniel Levy wouldn't want to lose Romero was somewhere after losing Harry Kane, as much as Postecoglou might want him to be part of this, if Real Madrid come in with an offer big enough that we can't refuse, he could still end up going. So it's so unpredictable what way it'll go. Ryan, good to see you in the chat, my friend. But yeah, the quality that Romero has is enough, unsurprisingly, to attract the attention of Real Madrid. But is it enough to convince them to pay maybe even a world record fee for a defender? Virgil van Dijk, if I'm not mistaken, is the most expensive defender of all time. I think he's there. I think he's first and Harry Maguire second. I want to have a look and see exactly what that number is, because would would Romero command the world record fee? He's valued according to Transfermarkt at 60 million euros. So the world record is actually Josko Vardiol, 90 million euro. He went to Man City for last season. Could we get more than that? I think if Real Madrid really, really wanted him this summer, and if Tottenham really, really didn't want to let him go, that number isn't impossible. Because the Real Madrid's big signing of this summer is Kylian Mbappe, who they've got for free. It's bound to be a huge signing on fee there as well. They're already shaping up for their big signing in next summer, which could be Florian Wirtz. Maybe Romero is a big one that they want in the middle of that. Maybe the funds will be there, but again, it remains to be seen. Time will tell. As Pete says, good luck dealing with Levy, and Florentino Perez doesn't like dealing with Levy. He's bought two players from us before. They were Gareth Bale and Luka Modric, and Mario Cortegana of the Athletic said a couple of years ago. I think it was when the Madrid to Kane rumors were kind of Kane to Madrid rumors were kind of starting to be heard, that within Real Madrid, Levy is seen as the toughest negotiator in the world. So I'm sure that's not a situation Florentino Perez would put himself into if he didn't know that he could come out of it with one of the best centre-backs in the world. Actually, I remember Perez telling a brilliant story back in 2017 after Real Madrid won one of their many Champions Leagues. He said that after every European title they win, he gets a text from Daniel Levy that says, "Congratulations on winning the European title with my players," of course referring to Bale and Modric. So yeah, I'm sure Perez will be getting himself in for another barrage of unwelcome texts over the years if he is to make this one happen. But let's see how it plays out. Again, time will tell. If I had to make a prediction at the moment, I would say it won't happen. But like I said, it's all down to how serious Real Madrid are about this. It could be a tentative inquiry that they've made to Tottenham to see, get an idea of what the best deal they could do. Maybe they have 5, 6, 7 other players on that list, and maybe Romero is bottom of that list, whether that's in terms of quality or in terms of how realistic they would be about getting a deal done. But it's a worrying start to the summer window, one that we hoped will be full of good news and big signings and optimism for the new season. For it to start like this would not be very positive. But yeah, let's wait and see how it all pans out.